up everybody, Luster here, and today we are back out on another adventure out on the West Coast Mainline up in Lancashire. As today we are in quite in the centre of the West Coast Mainline here at Preston, which is on the West Coast Mainline. Big station this. The train that's just in front of me is an Avanti West Coast Class 390 Prideolino, a 390 126. This is going to form the 1341 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central from London Euston. This did do the super fast, and this also brought me in from Warrington Bank Quay. I did ride in first class and it was quite busy, but I did get a seat from Wigan North Western onwards. But yes, I did ride in first class and I feel glad I got the tickets now, because it would have been a bit hell in the actual standard area. So it was I made the right decision by getting in first class. But yes, 390 126 is this 390 Prideolino that's in front of me. This will form the 1341 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central from London Euston, which I think we'll be getting ready to depart in a minute. Yes, I do like this station. I do love this station. Get loads of action. But yes, today here at Preston you will be seeing services by Avanti West Coast, Transpennine Express and also Northern as well. And 390 126 is getting ready to go now with the 1341 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central from London Euston. With 390 126, which is heading off jolly now to its next stop of Lancaster. And there is also a Northern 195 and a Northern 150 as well in the mix on platforms 1 and 2. The 150 will head to Blackpool South and the 195 will head to York. And that Prideolino is just heading off around the corner, around the bend. And yes, as I was saying, I do love this station. I love it to bits because you get loads of trains and loads of services. Because I do think this is a pretty cool station. And I am right, it is a very cool station. But yes, that's all for Preston now. We shall see what other action, what other trains we shall get here at Preston. I shall see you all when the next train comes. Now departing is going to be the 1342 Northern service to York from Blackpool North. Hit a Northern Class 195. Nice tone, 195 130. Heads off now with the 1342 Northern service to York from Blackpool North. And that is going to head over the local Lancashire lines now. I'm not too sure what they're called, but it'll go down that way. This did form the 1342 Northern service to York from Blackpool North with 195 130. And as that heads down that way, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston on the West Coast Mainline. Now arriving in is going to be the 1349 Avanti West Coast service to Edinburgh Waverley from London Euston with a Class 390 Prideolino. And it is the Prideolino 390 119 as well in its stunning Pride livery. And it is 390 119. 39119 now arrives into Preston with the 1349 Avanti West Coast service to Edinburgh Waverley from London Euston with the Prideolino 39119. And as this now arrives in, I shall see us all what happens next. Now departing is going to be the 1342 Transpennine Express service to Manchester Airport from Glasgow Central with a class 397. And it's 397009 heading off away to its next stop of Manchester Oxford Road. This Transpennine Express 397 did catch me out the eye, and this is forming the 1342 Transpennine Express service to Manchester Airport from Glasgow Central with a class 397 to 397009, and as that heads down the West Coast Mainline to its next stop on Manchester Oxford Road, I shall catch you what happens next. Now arriving in is going to be the 1355 Northern service to Blackpool North from Manchester Airport with a double Northern class 323. The motor trains. So then 323 217 is at the front. And 323 236 is on the rear. 323 237 and 323 236 now arrives in with the 1355 Northern service to Blackpool North from Manchester Airport with a double Northern class 323, and then before this service arrived in, another double Northern 323 departed. This time it was going to Manchester Airport from Blackpool North. It was 323 227 and 323 226 on that, and then this 323 is going to Blackpool North. I didn't manage to catch the other one, sorry, but I managed to catch this one, so that's cool. But yes, other than that, as that now boards, I shall see us all what happens next. Now arriving in is going to be the 1405 Transpennine Express service to Glasgow Central from Liverpool Lime Street with a single class 397. I don't think double 397s exist in real life. There's a funny joke. Anyways, 397002 is on this 397. Now arrives in with the 1405 Transpennine Express service to Glasgow Central from Liverpool Lime Street with a Transpennine Express class 397. And as that now arrives into Preston now, I shall see us all what happens next. Now departing is going to be the 1400 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston. This is doing the non-stop express, by the way, and it is 39131. And that's head to its next stop at Wigan North Western. Now departs with the 1400 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston. This will be doing a non-stop express when it departs Warrington Bank Quay. This is forming the 1400 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston with a class 390 Prideolino 39131. And also now terminating in is going to be the 1402 Northern service from Colne, which is going to be one of them 150s. This Northern 150 terminates in now into Preston with the 1401 Northern service from Colne with a class 150. And it is 150-149. Service from Colne, which terminates here at Preston with 150-149, and as this terminates in, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston. Now arriving in is going to be the 1405 Northern service to Blackpool North from York with 195122. They're in the business. 195122 now arrives in with the 1405 Northern service from York to Blackpool North with a class 195 or 195122. And as that now arrives in, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston, everybody. Now departing is going to be the 1410 Northern service to Ormskirk, starting here at Preston with 150-149. Departs now with the 1410 Northern service to Ormskirk, which will start here at Preston with the Northern 150 of 150-149. And as that heads down a single track to Ormskirk, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston, everybody. Now terminating in is going to be another Northern class 150, which is forming the 1413 Northern service from Ormskirk this time, with 150-121. It is another terminating Northern 150, but this time it has come from Ormskirk, with 150-121. 15121 now terminates into Preston with the 1413 Northern service from Ormskirk, and as that now terminates in, I shall catch you when the next train comes. Didn't think there was any today, but there is now, because now passing through is going to be our first freight train of today, which is for Freightliner, and it is a class 90 of 90014. And 90047. Class 90 for freight passes through now with the 1415 service, and then also now arriving in onto platform 2 is going to be the 1418 Northern service to Manchester Airport from Blackpool North with another double Northern class 323 it is a Northern 323 that is doubled up, and as that now arrives in, I shall see us all when this Northern Class 323 departs. Now departing is going to be the 1420 Northern service to Manchester Airport from Blackpool North with a double Northern Class 323. Listen to the motors. But anyways, 323 218 is at the front. And 323 239 is at the rear. Three two three 218 and 323 239 now depart with the 1420 Northern service to Bolton, not Manchester Airport. So apologies if I did say this was going to Manchester Airport, because this was actually going to Bolton. Sorry, please forgive me as I'm messed up a little bit. But anyways, that double Northern 323 is heading to Bolton, not Manchester Airport. And as that heads to its next stop at Leyland down the West Coast Mainline, also now arriving in is going to be a Northern Class 331 this time, which is forming the 1423 Northern service to Blackpool North from Liverpool Lime Street with a Northern Class 331. And this is going to be a doubled up one. Loads of double Northern trains today. anyways, 331031 is at the front. And 331019 is at the rear. This double Northern 331 now arrives into Preston with the 1423 Northern service to Blackpool North from Liverpool Lime Street, and as that now arrives in, I shall see us all what happens next. Now departing is going to be the 1422 Northern service to Colne with 15121. Rumble, rumble! 15121 absolutely rumbles its way out of Preston with the 1422 Northern service to Colne. Starting here at Preston with 15121 absolutely rumbling out. And as that heads to his next stop at Lostock Hall, I shall see us all when the next train comes here at Preston. Now departing is going to be the 1428 Northern service to Liverpool Lime Street from Blackpool North with a double Northern Class 331. So then, what do we have on the front? 331025. And 331013 comes up goods on the rear. This Northern 331 heads off now with the 1428 Northern service to Liverpool Lime Street from Blackpool North with a double Northern Class 331. And as that heads off to its next stop at Leyland, I shall catch us when the next train comes here at Preston. Now departing is going to be the 1532 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston via Birmingham New Street from Edinburgh Waverley. Apologies, 1432. Anyways, 39127. 39127 heads off now with the 1432 Avanti West Coast service to London Euston via Birmingham New Street. And as that heads down the West Coast Mainline to its next stop of Wigan North Western with first class at the front, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston, everybody. Now arriving in is going to be the 1439 Northern service to Blackpool North from Manchester Airport with a Northern Class 331. And it is a 4-car variant this time. Anyways, 331-103 does the job. Now arrives in with the 1439 Northern service to Blackpool North from Manchester Airport with 331-103, and as that now arrives in onto platform 1, I shall see us all what happens next. Now arriving in is going to be the 1441 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central from London Euston with a Class 390 Prideolino, and this was doing the Superfast non-stop express. Anyways, 390-040 is on this Prideolino. Now arrives in with the 1441 Avanti West Coast service to Glasgow Central from London Euston with 390-040. And then also over here is a Northern Class 195, which will form a service to Barrow in Furness soon. This is actually starting here and not at Manchester Airport, if you were wondering. But as that Prideolino now arrives in and as this Northern 195 does its job to Cumbria, I shall catch you what happens next. Now arriving in is going to be the 1445 Northern service to Blackpool North from York with a Northern Class 195. So then, it's my stalker 195127, or should I say previous stalker, as it's not really stalking me anymore. So it's not me stalker now, but 195127 now arrives in with the 1445 Northern service to Blackpool North from York. And as that now arrives in, I shall see you all when the next train comes here at Preston. Now departing is going to be the 1447 Northern service to Barrow in Furness, which will start here at Preston with a Northern 195 or 195132. And then also now arriving in is going to be the 1452 Transpennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street from Glasgow Central with a Class 397. Anyways, 397-003 does the job on this. And then also terminating in over there is going to be a Northern Class 150 of 150-143. This is forming the 1446 Northern service from Blackpool South, which will terminate here at Preston. And I shall see you all what happens next, with loads of people blocking my view. Now departing is going to be the 1452 Transpennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street from Glasgow Central with a Class 397 of 397-003. 14:37 is formerly 14:52. Transpennine Express service to Liverpool Lime Street from Glasgow Central 397003, and then also now departing over there is a double Northern Class 323, which is formerly 14:52. Northern service to Manchester Airport from Blackpool North, and as those two trains head off now to their respective destinations, I shall catch us when the next train comes here at Preston. Now arriving in is going to be the delayed 14:44 Northern service to York from Blackpool North, and then also now arriving in is going to be another double Northern 331, a 331029 at the front, and then 331026 at the rear, with the 14:58 Northern service to Blackpool North from Manchester Airport, and then also now arriving in is 195122 with the delayed 14:44 Northern service to York from Blackpool North. And I shall see you all when one of these services depart. Now departing is going to be our final train of today, which will be a Northern Class 195 or 195122, which is formerly delayed 14:44 Northern service to York from Blackpool North with 195122. This is formerly delayed 14:44 Northern service to York from Blackpool North, and then also now arriving in is going to be an Avanti West Coast Class 390 Prideolino, which is formerly 15:05 Avanti West Coast service to Blackpool North from London Euston, with 390.010 doing the job. Now arrives in with the 15:05 Avanti West Coast service to Blackpool North from London Euston with 390.010. And as this 390 Prideolino boards now, I shall conclude today's video here at Preston. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe as always, as it'd be a joy and very cool and very fun. And it would mean a lot to me in the channel. But yes, there is a loads of flow of people up there. But yes, this is a very fun station to film at, Preston. A very fun station, and I really did enjoy. It's a big station and a very busy one, but we got loads of services from both Avanti West Coast, Transpennine Express and Northern. But yes, I will film here again for another revisit. I would come back here again for another long form video, of course I would. But yes, I won't keep you around for too long. But as for me here at Preston, I shall catch us all in the next video. Peace out.